The Lord be with you. We continue to look at the biblical teaching of the Lord's Supper. And one aspect of the Lord's Supper that is important is continuity with the Passover meal. Jesus took the Passover meal and he instituted his supper during the Passover. The Passover was a celebration of God's rescue of his people Israel out of the house of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. God rescued them. He brought them out. He saved them, and he saved them from slavery and was bringing them into the promised land. And Jesus chose this meal, the Passover meal, to institute his supper, his new saving, rescuing event, where we're no longer slaves in Egypt. We are slaves to our own sin. We're slaves in this world. We're slaves of the devil. And Jesus comes and he rescues us by his death and resurrection. And so by celebrating the Lord's Supper, we're participating again in God's great rescue event. The same way celebrating the Passover is a celebration of God's great rescuing event that is participating anew in that rescue event. Okay, that's the way the law and the prophets talk about the Passover. That is, you're actually participating in God's rescuing event. So also we participate in God's rescuing event of Jesus's death and resurrection by eating the Passover meal. And Jesus actually makes himself to be the Passover meal. He's not only the host, he is the meal himself. He gives us his body to eat and his blood to drink. This is, by the way, why we Lutherans have an altar at the front of our sanctuary, our worship center, because an altar is for sacrifice. Now, mind you, we don't re-sacrifice Jesus' body and blood. He was sacrificed once for all. What we do is we place Jesus's once for all sacrifice on the altar. We put his crucified and risen body and blood sacrificed for us, and then we do what we do with sacrifices. We eat and we drink. Okay? Now, it is ironic, I think, because the law of Moses prohibits drinking blood. He says, because the life is in the blood. And I'm going, so give me Jesus's blood, because the life is in the blood. Amen? God bless.